26 and I'm Agi's stepdaughter. I'm my dad's firstborn child. So, well, for me, I think it didn't take long for me to adjust because my mom has always made it clear to me that she's not an enemy to my dad. It simply just didn't work out between them. So I've always learned how to accept that he has a life. He can move on if he wants to. So when she came into our lives, she was not an enemy to me. First, I'm very fond of kids, and her children are amazing. They're people I enjoy being a big sister to. So yeah, and also apart from that, before they moved in, I remember, I think it was Easter 2016, my dad took us out. And when he took us out, he actually mentioned that he was going to marry her. So it was not something that came by surprise to us. We knew it's something that was going to happen in the long run. So yeah, for me, I'd say I didn't have any challenges accepting that, there's someone new into our lives. And
was it easy bonding with her?
Very easy. Surprisingly, it was very easy. In fact, I think she is more of a friend to me than she is a mom, which makes it so easy. There are things I can't talk to my mom about because the age difference, and yeah. But she's amazing. She understands what we go through, so I'm very free with her. We talk a lot about a lot of things, and even when I mess up, she tells me, you didn't do wrong, and then gives me a solution. This is how to go about it to make it right. So yeah, we are friends.
So Imelda is, but why are you leaving? Who has told you to leave? And I said, we have our house. She goes, no, we're okay here. Actually, before you came from your Americas, we were good. You're the one coming to disrupt things that are otherwise working. Which was exactly what her father had said when I had told him, yeah, we are here until end of August, September we are going back. So it made me think, these are two separate sources, kind of talking the same language. Maybe this is a discussion I now need to have seriously. So that's how we sat with the dad. Weighed pros and cons. Literally the kids had already lived together, blended, had their own thing going without me and my worry and my... So I let it run its course. I said, you know what, let me see how this goes. So for about 2 unnecessary months, I continued having our things in that house with nobody going there. And just to, in my opinion, see how this goes. Yeah, but as God works in his ways, as I was still trying to see, I conceived Aaron. And I guess that was that. Like, where are you going? Yeah, where are you going? And that's how this was just signed, sealed, delivered.
Was it hard giving instructions to the other kid? You telling them as whom?
As whom? So that, I must admit, worked a bit well. Why? Their father had raised them almost on his own here. Yes, their mothers were in their lives, but it was already a defined relationship between them, their mom, their dad, okay? And their dad was the active parent. So having a person in their father's life, I was not coming to replace the roles of their mothers, and that was clear from the beginning. And that is still clear even now. They all still have relationships with their mother, and that can never change. I cannot replace their biological mothers. But what had to happen was there had to be now respect of, this is our father's partner. And she also is a mother to children who live here. So these children have to see that we respect their mother for them to do the same. So I must admit, at least the ones who were living here at that time took that role very well and very seriously, and were very careful, even with the things they used to do around the kids. You get? Even previously when, it was happy-go-lucky, it's all teenagers in the house and you can do all these things. And with the kids, you find now everyone was careful because you'll do it. And guess what? In the evening, he'll do the exact same thing. And you can't question him because he'll say, but I saw you doing it, that's why I'm doing it. So people became also very conscious about being role models because there were younger people to model. And that worked. They were generally easy to cope with because discipline per se was already instilled. So you find you can have a reasonable conversation because first, their father is a military man, therefore a military dad. So he has rules that have been there way before Agi came along. So those, again, made it very easy. I wasn't coming to change the landscape. You get? There are already rules. If any, I was just making sure they are followed. If he's away, you won't do because he's away, so I am free. No, they know that I am here, which is the same thing. And so that kind of flowed quite well. And I will say the key is don't try to replace their mother. It's impossible, okay? But have a relationship with them that they realize because you're the current in their lives. Yes, you're the one who is there now. And since they live with their father and you live with their father, you therefore live together. So get the flow with that circumstance situation.
Were there challenges?
Yes, there were. For me, it was being thrown in the deep end of parenting teenagers and young adults. My kids were 4, 2, 5, 6. You get? Now, suddenly, I had to be in a situation where if there's a teenage problem, I have to think like a parent. You get? If there's a young adult situation, I have to think like a parent. The challenges of a single dad, especially parenting daughters, is, there's that boundary that he just doesn't want. This is a girl. I cannot, go beyond here. So he will get to that point and tell me, you know what? Talk to her. I can't do this. And so when I'm having that conversation, I'm thinking, so here am I talking as a mother? Am I talking as an adult who's trying to model you to be a better woman? Am I talking as a friend? And it will be challenging. But I'll always have to find a way to balance all those because in the end, you are a parent. The reason why you're even having that discussion is because you are a parent in that child's life. And they are a child in your life, you get. So I also had to really separate, even conversations. There are conversations I can't have with them because they're children and I'm a parent, you get. There are things, for example, maybe will be in a highly emotive situation and she's venting about her dad and you know that now this is her dad. You get? So I cannot even sanctify that statement with my true opinion because in the end this is her father and she has to look at him as a father. So at that point you have to stand and just talk as a parent. Doesn't matter, how much older they are than your kids. So that for me was the challenge, balancing. I was used to kiddie problems of, and raising them when they're young is so easy, man. You just give an instruction and it's followed. No questions. I love it. I wish they never grow up, but they do. And then you have to reason and negotiate and, come to their level and space. So that for me was the biggest challenge. The other bigger challenge was the feeling of you're literally being gauged. You get? You're coming from a place where both you and the father have had failed relationships, and it's clear. So it's almost like, and this is not from the kids per se, this is from even just society. It's almost like society is standing to say, okay, so you think after the first failure, You think this will work because, you know. So yeah, we're giving it time. TikTok, you know. And it's almost like day by day you're living to prove people wrong that this can actually work. So that was also not so easy to maneuver about and shake off. What helped with that is, yeah, actually seeing it working and being in that place that you've not been in a long time. And sitting and having conversations and laughing and there's joy in your lives and in the house and in the kids' lives, and you actually see, yeah, this is actually working. Despite all the naysayers, this is actually working. You know, and you pat yourselves on the back, give each other a high five, and yes. So getting through that point of being questioned at every corner and site, and that was not easy. But yeah, here we are now. It's working. It's working.
Do they still refer you as Agi, Amana, your mom, or is it?
Interesting, yeah. So with the younger ones, you see how easy it was, right? With the older ones for long. So actually, how in the beginning, the name their dad used to call me was Yama, which are my initials, because that's how my friends, my old friends from way back, call me. And remember, we met through an old friend from way back. So even the older kids knew me as Yama. So for a long time when they referred to me, it was Yama. Now the trick happens when the kids hear them calling me Yama. You get and wonder, so yeah, why do you have to stick to this mommy name? You know. So once Abel is the one who tried it and calls me Yama. And I look at him and ask him, what did you just say? You know, then he says, no, but even Godi calls you Yama. I say, Godi doesn't call me Yama. Because when they talk to me, yeah, directly, they don't, to catch my attention, they don't say Yama, no. But I guess when they talk among themselves, that's what they refer to me. So that's what Abel picked. So I tell him, no, even if Godi calls me Yama, you have to call me Mommy. And he says, then if I call you Mommy, Godi also has to call you Mommy. Wow. Smart children. You know? I wish they were, you know? What happened to the children who you just give instructions and they follow what you say, you know? So at a point I had to like have this conversation, you know? And I thought about it, and I talked to their dad about it, and he's like, what do you want them to call you? Just tell me and I'll tell them. So I said, that's the thing, I don't even know, you know. I don't know what will cause least confusion. And he tells me he thinks Mama Abby will cause least confusion. Why? Because first, that's the nannies, other people just automatically refer to me as Mama Abby. So maybe that, and I thought, yeah, good idea. And so I tell them that, yeah, to avoid confusion. And by then Aaron was there, so I was thinking Aaron is also growing and will pick up whatever he finds along the way is what he'll pick up. So to avoid all this confusion, guys, let's call me Mama Abby. Well, they thought that was a very archaic suggestion. So it wasn't taken up. And I said, Mama Abby, like, seriously? And they say, yeah, why not? And it was just rejected. So what they refer to me as mostly is Auntie Agi. Now, how that flows, fortunately, is, as I told you, I come from a big fat family. And so I have like 20 nieces, and so there are so many people already who call me Auntie Agi, who they interact with, who are their cousins, who, you know. So it just flows. So it doesn't quite confuse the younger ones, because already they see so many of these grown-ups already call me Auntie Agi, and so for them it's just the same thing. So that's how it works. But when we are talking, like if it's a chat, if it's a, you know, you will find there are times when, yeah, I'll get a text and I've been referred to as mom, and I look and I'm like, oh wow, you know. And what I always fear, to be honest, is that that referral doesn't take away from their biological moms, that they don't feel in any way that it has taken anything away from them, because in the end they are still moms. Yeah, so that's how we worked around the naming thing.
Do you think that this process, your blended family has made you stronger? Has changed you?
Oh, for sure. First, it grew me up overnight. It made me grow up so fast. In my family, I'm almost the youngest. And so responsibility won't automatically fall on my doorstep, because there are first all these other people who can take it up. And then I'm here, raising children who are older than even my eldest sisters, you get. So I'm here suddenly talking about things that even my eldest of sisters hasn't gone through. So it grew me up literally overnight. It changed my perspective in life so quick. It calmed me down. I stopped losing it at small things. I started choosing my battles, So things that would make me sweat, make me not sleep at night, I'll sit and think. Just the other day I was telling Elsie, just the other day I was telling Imelda not to be like this, to be, what am I, If they saw me doing this, it would be a negation of anything I've ever told them. So it made me become even strive to be a better version of myself, if not for anything else, but to give them a good example. Their dad also has this thing of telling them all the time, Agi is an engineer, work hard to be like her, look at her, and she has her act together. So even hearing him use me as a model to them made me sit and want to be better, just so that, whatever he was saying to them makes sense, because I actually live it. So that combination of them looking at me in that eye of an example, and me having to live by what I tell them not to do. I mean, I can't tell them don't overdrink, and yet all they see is me walking in drunk all the time, you get. So I literally have to live it. It's made me more tolerable, more to things that I will otherwise not tolerate. So even, let's say, work-wise, I know that I have a child who has just finished high school, who is looking for internship opportunities and asks me, what do I say in an interview? And I tell him all the things I don't like seeing a potential employee saying at the table. So it makes me sit back and think, am I that kind of person? Do I live this if I worked in the same place as he does? So will he be the same person who talks to him at home, at work, So it has made me very conscious about these things. It also has made me very conscious of the places I go and the things I do where I go. So in the beginning, Imelda, the eldest, we share a love for reggae. So randomly, sometime I overhear her telling her friend who had come to visit at home the way, hey, K1 reggae this Thursday, see we are doing it. And I used to go to K1 every Thursday possible. So I think, so what would I do if we met at K1 with who would need to leave, And right there I just made a conscious decision. It's not happening. Yes, it's not. We'll never be in that situation where I'm wondering who should leave, because truly if I'm in a place where she is, it's me who likely is in the wrong place. So it made me so conscious. So there are places when if I call you and you tell me you are at, I won't come, because I know, yes, possibly I'll meet one of my children and we cannot meet at the rave. Yes, we can meet at home and in church, not at the rave. So this thing, they actually model almost your everything. You get the way you dress. I can't hear their father blowing his head off over how they're dressed. and walk out dressed in the same way. He can't tell me, but his children will wonder, okay, she can, but we can't, So it's all these things, and for him to say, yeah, look how decent women dress. Can you dress decently? It's to be that decent woman who can be quoted, you get. So it really has made me change a lot of things, how I see things and how I do things and the places I go and the people I interact with. Yes.
Advice to other families who might consider kind of an arrangement?
An arrangement, a blended families, I will say, yes, come with their sets of challenges, but which family doesn't? I mean, as I said, we both came from previous relationships, which were, for lack of a better word, traditional in every sense of the word. But look, they didn't work. Why? Because they had challenges that we couldn't surmount. So it's not the blend that makes it challenging. It's how you take those situations and how you deal with them. So I will say first, cut out the noise. Cut it out. Everyone will have an opinion about everything you should or shouldn't do. Cut out the noise. Does it work for you? Does it work for him? Does it work for the children?
That's all that counts.
That's it. In that equation, it's those three that count. And for us, first, that it worked for the children meant we could try it. For us, that was very important. If the children didn't blend, I don't think we would have made the decision to continue. I came as a package deal. He came as a package deal. I couldn't single him out and leave the children. I had to think, can I take him and the children? He had to think, can he take me and the children? The children had to think, can we do this, all of us? So if that equation balances, go ahead. Everything else is noise. Cut it out. I normally tell even Imelda, does it add food to your table? If it doesn't, leave it. It's not worth it. So that's what I'll tell anyone who's considering thinking of a blended family. Yeah, do it. Also, it's actually not as difficult as I had thought it would be. From back in the day, stories of stepmother, stepfather, it's bad, scary stories. Mm-hmm. It's not that bad actually. It's very normal. It's actually also quite common in this day and age. I meet so many of my friends, and it, by the way, doesn't have an age limit. I meet so many of my friends, older, same age, younger, who are in the same situation, and for all of them, it's the kids accepted them. They were happy to be accepted. They decided to make it work. So I think that's where you start. Don't try to alienate your partner from the children. Mm-hmm. It won't work. First, get acceptance, especially from the children. Be a person they don't feel like you're coming to take away what they already had with their father or their mother. Yeah, make them feel like it's still balanced, it's still normal, it's still cool. Mm-hmm. And I think it will work. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Kaki.